Master of the Game, the show on which we bring you the movers, shakers, icons, and legends of our beloved motherland Ghana. My name is Darwah, Kwasi Kyei Darwah, and I am so happy to have one of the musicians I simply adore. From a song that he produced some 20 good years ago that I championed the promotion of in London, UK, and the rest of Europe, to songs that he has made lately, to shows that he has performed, and to the style that he oozes, this man is an icon. He is a world sex symbol. His music is beautiful. And when I asked, why do you do your music the way you do it? He says, I have three key reasons. Number one, I use it to console and comfort people. Number two, I use it to warn people. And number three, I use it to love and uplift people. Please welcome the great musician, Kwabena.
Yes, sir.
I am so happy to see you.
Pleasure is mine, brother.
So happy.
Pleasure is mine.
20 years
20
waiting
years.
to interview you.
Wow. I mean,
20 years.
It's a big honor for me.
I
am honored, honestly. I am honored to be seated in front of you because you are such an icon. And I mean, everybody knows what you are in terms of being an MC, interviewing people, and all of that. So I'm actually elated and honored to be seated right next to you to talk to you.
So happy,
thank you so much.
happy to be with you.
Thank you.
I talked about I saw in my intro.
Right.
But I asked a few young people about you before I came here, and they said, "Hey, Kwabena, oh, you're a big high life musician. Like your high life mumpe you for me." And I'm like, "Oh, Kwabena, onisa, onisa." I said, "Oh, but you're high life mumpe you for me." And I'm saying, "This okay, so what Kwabena sema?" Then I because you Kwabena bonyoma asset.
Right.
What does that mean?
I'd say it's people appreciate my works, and you know, it always serves the purpose of which I put them out there. And, you know, I mean, I can only appreciate them for accepting my works and actually celebrating me in that regard.
After a show in London many years ago, I asked you a very simple question. You play different styles of music.
Right.
You play different kinds of music. I mean, if you've even got one which is leaning towards the gospel.
Right.
And you talked about three key things why you write and perform music: to console and comfort people, to warn people, and then to love and uplift people.
Right.
Give me an example of one in which you warn people.
I'd say a song like from my latest album, which was produced by Kwasi Kyei Darwah.
Kwame,
Exactly.
Great producer.
Great producer.
Oh, Hammer was talking about it when he was in the set yesterday.
Yes, great musician and a brother too, I should say. And we recorded a song called Obiasa, and Show Obiasa Sonsa. And I say that song has been a cult favorite of people who actually love to listen to my music. And every lyric in that song and the production and direction of that song actually is kind of like it wants everybody to be, you know, happy with themselves and be able to project who you are and be proud of who you are.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
No matter what people
exactly. No matter what people say.
Interestingly, no matter how you dance,
Yeah.
you know, those who do not want to commend you will still say you don't dance well.
Facts.
How do you say that in Chi? Have you been in a situation where you know that you've done what you need to do and still people came back with criticism?
Of course, there's been so many instances, and you realize that the environment we are in is kind of like a bit prejudicial. People don't take the opportunity to know you before they can have a say. People actually form their own judgment, and people actually listen to gossips more than getting the facts about people. So yes, there's been some few instances, but it doesn't really bother me because I know who I am, and I appreciate what God made me, I mean how God made me, and I will never change for somebody or because of somebody's gossip. No, that will not happen.
Never change because of somebody's gossip. I want to go back to how you started and how you became a musician. Can we talk about childhood?
Yeah, my childhood, I'll say glory to God that I'm here, because my childhood it's quite a bit rough.
What do you mean rough?
I mean, I'm born to. I mean, I have three other siblings. We are 4 in number. I grew up in a normal Ghanaian setting home, but then I'll say I'm the third born. So when it got to my time, there were some few problems at home in terms of financial issues. My parents actually hit, a little crisis hit them. So I didn't get it so smooth, unlike my my older siblings. But then through all that, I'll say it was a preparation for me. I see, because looking back and looking at what God is doing in my life right now, I'll say it was all prepping me for me to understand life and the dynamics of life and the grace of God. So childhood, I'll say, was a bit tough for me, through junior high school, through senior high school. I had it quite tough, So.
But you had friends in school.
Yes. I did have friends.
Which of your friends were most supportive in junior high, for instance?
That is the challenge, because I was always, ridiculed. I was always like bullied. Yes.
What for?
Yes, because I was underprivileged. I am one of the students who always, whose name will always be called out for unpaid fees, and
they call names for unpaid fees.
Exactly.
Are you serious?
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I never heard this in Presidio.
Yes.
We didn't have it there.
And it was obvious in St. Peter's, because if you've not paid your fees, if you've not paid boarding fees, you are not allowed at the dining hall. So it's time for.
But then when you come and pay later, will they take out the money and give it to you?
No. It's
what
not
stupidity?
So you are not allowed at the dining hall. So there were so many instances where I would sneak into the dining hall and I'll be fished out. You know what I mean? For you to go out. It was a whole lot of difficult moment for me in secondary school. And though I had friends who would look out for me. There's a friend I will always mention and show my appreciation, Roland Aidan. Yeah, he was quite, a friend. He looked out for me more because, there were times when I've not paid my fees. I can go to the dining hall. I don't have enough food in my chop box to, sustain me. So he will actually come in to support me in that regard. And yeah, it was quite tough.
It's really sad that we have a country that has so much, but we let people fall through the net.
Yeah.
So a student who wants to learn has been dropped off of school by their parents. Their parents have helped them with what they can.
Right.
And the school can come and ridicule the child and say the name of the child just to let everybody know that their parents haven't raised enough money to pay the fees.
Exactly.
And after that ridicule, when the parents come and pay the fees eventually, they still have to pay the full fees.
The full fees, yes.
Even for the meals that the child was not served.
Exactly.
This is why I sometimes say things that some people say, oh, Kwasi, you're being too harsh. Not all our elders are wise.
Facts.
Not all our elders are wise.
Facts.
So which school did you start as a little child?
As a little child, I started from Datus, Bubiashi.
You went to Datus?
Yes, I went to Datus.
I went to Datus as a child.
Yeah, Bubiashi.
My parents wanted to work so hard, they said, no, you and your sister have to go to boarding school so we can work and make money.
Oh, right. But I didn't go to boarding school. I started at Datus, Bubiashi. We lived close to the school.
Fantastic.
Back then we lived around Atiko, that area. But then when I turned, I think 7, 8 years old, we relocated to Achimota, that's St. John's area. So that's when, I was enrolled in Green Hill. So I went to Green Hill Primary.
Oh, you went to good schools?
Yes, like from the, I was explaining from the beginning.
Okay, go on then.
It was okay. So I did Green Hill for just 1 year, and then things changed. So I had to be moved to Saito.
And it's already first.
So you see,
from Green Hill to Saito.
From Green Hill to Saito, so
already first. I always want to look at the positive side of things.
Exactly. I moved. Matter of fact, I was in class 3 in Green Hill.
Yeah.
But when I was moved to Saito, that is Anungle,
Yeah.
around Achimota school area, that area, yeah. I mean, they tested me for class 4. I was so brilliant for class 4, and then they tested me for class 5. So I actually didn't do class 4, technically.
They jumped you.
They jumped me to class 5.
Sir.
So I was at Saito class 5, and then I went through JSS at Agri JSS, around that same, enclave. It was a cluster of schools. And then after Agri JSS, God being so good, I did so well. I passed my BEC so well. So I went to St. Peter's Secondary School.
That's a good school too.
Very good school.
Now where do you hear knowing?
They only say, you see, with all that, I went to St. Peter's on merits. So since, I went to
secondary school, we had this Cocobot scholarship and the other school. I got a scholarship.
Oh.
But I was like, my father could pay.
Right.
So why am I getting a scholarship?
Right.
But my dad would come and visit me when we were in school, and he would give provisions. I mean, when we were in Datus, for instance, and he would ask, who are the kids who don't have a lot of food?
Oh.
And then whatever jollof my mom had brought from the restaurant would give some to them, as though their parents had come to visit them.
Right.
So I look at my parents and I see that when God blesses you with a little more than you asked for, don't build higher walls, build a longer table.
Exactly.
So didn't any friends tell their parents that we have this friend who is brilliant, who needs help, so they could build a longer table that will feed you too?
Yeah, I already mentioned Roland.
Just him?
Yes, just him. Just him, because my entire stay in St. Peter's, the 3 years I stayed there, I was visited like only 3 times. Yeah. So, and I went to secondary Form 1 at age 14, and judging my age, and I was a science student as well. So it was quite tough for me. It was quite tough, and because of the difficulty in everything that I was going through in school, I wasn't able to pass my sciences. Yes, I did well with my other subjects, but I couldn't match up, and I couldn't do my electives well. So my ambitions of I wanted to do medicine. Matter of fact, that was my initial ambition, but then I wasn't able to. Then after school, I then decided I still can channel my sciences into other things. So, and I had passion for construction. I had passion for buildings and architecture and all of that. So I did my best to enroll myself into an institution to learn draftsmanship, to learn how to.
So you're a draftsman?
Yes, I'm a draftsman by profession. To learn how to draw building plans. Learn about structures.
At this point in your life, you're maybe in your early 20s or you're late?
No, I'm in my mid 40s.
That's when you went to learn this?
No, at the point. Yeah. Oh yes. At that time, matter of fact, I finished senior high at age 16, and things were quite still tough for my parents. So, it was. I think I fell until I was about 17, 18 years old.
How did you fund your draftsmanship course?
Yes.
That's what age I want to find
Yes,
out.
it was at age 18.
Okay, so how did you fund that?
God being so good, my mom, who always would do whatever she can to come through for me, as I told her that this is what I want to do, because it looks as if the funds are not there to be, able to pay my fees, to make me pursue what I want to pursue. So this is what I've discovered, and this is what I want to learn. So my mom actually did whatever she can to raise that fund for me to do the initial, payment to actually get myself enrolled in there. So
there are stories of selfless mothers going through their portmanteaus and pulling out their valued pieces of kente or Holland cloth or wax prints.
You hit the nail right on the head.
And going to sell them.
Yes.
So their children can go and learn a trade.
Yes. My mom, yes, that's what happened. My mom, I say even throughout secondary school, That was the phenomenon.
Because,
exactly, because I'll be sacked from school, from paid fees. I'll come home.
But traveling from school to home to is cost.
It's cost, exactly.
Hey, and
it's school.
It
was quite tough. But then God bless my mom. She always did whatever she can.
Where was Dad at this time?
Dad was around, but things were tough. I understand. I mean, I was seeing what was going on. He was actually going through it because at the time they used to trade in petroleum goods, and I'll say before everything switched to constitutional rule, I mean, they had a big crisis with the military government then. I remember it was around 89, 90, thereabout. Yeah, their goods and, you know...
Things were confiscated?
Confiscated, exactly.
Oh, my father suffered worse.
Yeah.
Everything in our warehouse,
yes.
all the drinks.
Yes.
Drinks never came back, bottles never came back.
Yeah. Everything went away. Everything went away.
But for the fact that my father had other businesses, we would have just gone flat.
Yeah, yeah. So they actually, both of them actually hit the deck, and it was quite tough. I mean, I witnessed it. Though I was young, I mean, I was about 10, 11 years old. I saw what was going on. So it was difficult for them until my dad started to do other things and get himself into other stuff. But then, like I said, we were 4 in number. And my older siblings were kind of like, okay, when they deal with this one and they deal with the next one, by the time they get to me, the funds are quite stretched. So I understand.
It's good that you can look back on all this and smile.
Yeah, yeah, because God has been good. God has been good. It toughened me. I would say it gave me a better insight about life. And
you know the song, "We Are Crying, Mommy."
Yeah.
What inspired it?
Yeah. We Are Crying. The inspiration behind We Are Crying is quite, you know, I was in a dark place.
Hold it. Even in a dark place, the most depressed of souls can be uplifted in song.
Yeah.
Do you remember the lyrics? Can you share it with me?
Sure. My sorry I no pay. But me want my share once. My different me fibe money na. Share once so. Enti tutu manamo nyina sisi ye. Mami o minyami na makwan ye. Pie kwan bi mami o. Anya ya ne wona. Ani mocha bi na enya. Anyway, mu atumfo obonsam ne na pamfo no wan hwehwe nyina ne se obepo mi nhira hwete onyame din mu nti emasudo bie kwan mi mami o. This is what the first and second stanza. Yeah. Bie kwan mi mami o. Yeah. Sunsumeje bie kwan mi mami o. Yeah. So I was in situations where I needed to speak to my God from my soul and ask God to make a change in my life and in where I was at the time. You know, I needed a miracle. I needed something to change in my life. And the song came to me in sleep. And I woke up around about 3:30, 4 a.m. thereabout. And, you know, I entered my bathroom, the small room. Most of the times, I used to stay there a lot and write around. I mean, I find myself confined in that small room. So every lyric of that song dropped that morning because I was, you know, deep in my spirit.
Only on Master of the Game with my special guest Kwabna, a great singer-songwriter, and as you can hear, a fabulous inspirer. You just heard that beautiful voice of his. We're going to hear more from him, and he will prove to you that some vehicles get home safely, even on flat tires, and some tomato seeds, they germinate on concrete. Only only on Master of the Game, right after this. For me, O Lord. We're streaming live on Facebook at MyCTVGH. That's MyCTVGH. That's on Facebook. We're also piping on Accra 100.5 FM and we're on Class 91.3 FM. This is Master of the Game with my special guest, Kwabena, great musician. Now, he is determined that he is going to hold on to the legacy that our forefathers left for us. It is a big musical genre called high life. Of the many musical genres that you were influenced by as a child growing up, You had the soul, you had the funk, you had the R&B, you had the high life. There's the Pan logo, there's the Agbaja, there's the Kete. Why high life?
I say that's where my dad comes in. My dad is, I mean, a wide listener. There was no record my dad never owned. He loves music, and I remember growing up, almost every weekend, he would bring out his, you know, his sound system and pack up his LPs, pack up his cassettes. You know, there were no CDs those days. And he would play from soul music to jazz to reggae to pop. And then he would crown it all with high life music, all the genres. He would play even the Wulome, he would play the Bobobo. He would actually play traditional music, and then he would come and end up with the...
Who was he playing for?
He was just playing for the... I mean, when we used to live in a compound house, before we moved into, I mean, his own place, he would play... I mean, it's like he's kind of like being a DJ for the whole house. And I'd say he's playing for himself. He loves to listen to his music, and I mean, I also enjoyed it alongside it. So whilst we do our chores on Saturday mornings, right from the morning till he'll play from morning till evening, and you can imagine the repertoire. So I had a fair idea about almost every song at the time, and I'd say his passion was more for highlight music. And I mean, he played almost every song from Nanampedu to Apambo to Ejeku to Rambless to Osibisa to, like, you name it.
So you got a great influence.
Yes, I got a great influence.
And at what time did you start realizing that you get some passion for music yourself?
Very early. I'd say from like age 10, 11, thereabout. I mean, I imagined myself being a musician, playing the guitar, playing the drum. Yes. So, I mean, I started very early, like, you know, with a passion for music and wanting to be a musician. Yeah. And he knew that. He knew that. And I'll say he was one of my biggest inspirers. Because anytime I try to sing songs, sometimes I don't even know the lyrics. I know the melody, but then I fit in my own lyrics into melodies. And
okay.
I try to sing it alongside when he's actually playing, and he kind of like, he gets, you know, excited about the fact that, I mean, I love the passion.
It's interesting. Producer Hammer and CEO of The Last Two talked about how you are a melody person and a harmony person.
Yeah, yeah. We actually we've had, I mean, some amazing times in the studio. I'll say, from the beginning of my career, he's been very inspiring. I'll say, he's one of the producers who actually gave me an opportunity or the platform to actually explore. Because back then, in somewhere 2001, 2002, he was one of the producers who, when, I mean, he discovered me, he found out what I could do. Anytime he plays or he produces anything, he will get me into the studio to create melodies alongside it. So if you listen to his one of his albums, Sounds of Our Time, I'll say I created melodies on every track on that album, about 12, 13 tracks. Yeah, and you know, I worked on almost every
There's a particular one that still rings in my head that you did with the Volta regime. You remember the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
You've done some great work.
Yeah.
I mean, your body of work.
Is it your video? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you sang that part.
Yeah.
Until he came here on Monday and talked about it. I was like, who's singing this song? It sounds like somebody who was a professional singer, but I can't tell who it is.
Yeah.
He said, oh, but you can hear Kwabna Kwabna,
exactly.
Right? I said, oh, that's Kwabna Kwabna. Said,
that was me. That was me. I was on You May Kiss the Bride as well.
Yeah.
Yes. And, you know, a number of them.
So he lays the track, he wants the melody, all he has to do is, Kwabena,
Exactly.
sorry baby.
Exactly. He just puts me in the vocal booth and, you know, I mean, he just would start recording. And then he'll record almost everything that I'll sing.
And he just leaves you to
your own devices.
Me to
my own, yes. I mean, I'm so grateful to him. So grateful because he gave me a lot of experience in terms of recording and being a recording artist. He actually gave me a lot of experience.
So there's this young boy who grew up more like the bourgeoisie, and then times went hard for the family because of this regime that confiscated people's properties and all that. Well, in a revolution, while some are actually seeking to uplift the poor, some are actually seeking to plunder from the well-to-do. Exactly. So that happens.
Yeah.
But then this guy goes into a situation which is almost like a depression. How does he get out of it?
You see, you never have to lose hope. And you must always, you know, believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And you must also have faith in God. Because, I mean, things happen for a reason. And that should never let you, I mean, lose hope or sway you from your goals or what you want to achieve in life. I'd say, I mean, despite the difficulties, I always knew that I wanted to be a musician. I knew I wanted to be a great musician. And nothing stopped me from dreaming.
Is that what killed your dream of wanting to be a medical practitioner earlier in life?
Matter of fact, I thought about doing both.
It's possible.
Exactly, being a professional and then again pursuing my passion. You know, it's like, I mean, I still channeled it into construction. And I mean, I was able to do that, and then I went to Accra Polytechnic for, I mean, a CTC, that's a construction technician's course. And, you know, I finished that course as well. And I mean, I'm a construction technician. Now, as I speak to you, I'm back in school because I think, I mean, I had to, you know, attain my degree. So I'm back in school, but I'm doing something else to.
I think so. Looking younger than the 20-year-olds.
Yeah. So, you know, so it's like, I mean, I always feel it's never too late for anything. It depends on how you process things. It depends on how you see things in your life.
When we were about to do your flyer, you know, we had put a couple of your pictures out, and we discussed it, and then the ladies were standing there going, wow, body near. Well, how do you keep that body fit?
You know, I say fitness, I used to play football back in the days as well. I mean, so fitness has always been like a thing for me, and I believe that, I mean, it's good to be fit because health is wealth. So it's always good to be fit. So I mean, I took to fitness as something which, I mean, I love doing. So, and then being a musician and the kind of music I do and what I want to portray out there, you know, people see the sexuality in my music, and yes, of course, that's what I project more. So I thought about the fact that since you do such songs, you also need to have that appeal, and you need to look good to actually match with what you're selling.
You can't be a sex icon if you don't look after yourself.
There you go.
Now, I want us to go back to how you got to make your very first song. Because you had been, for want of a better word, what I used to be. I was a studio rat. I was always around studios.
Right.
If there was a studio where music was being made, if there was a place where musicians were rehearsing, I was there.
Right.
You know, and I learned all the tricks of the trade just being around musicians and studios. You were a studio rat too.
Yes,
so you built your skills about melodies and harmonies just being in the studio.
Yes.
Then what caused you to say, now is the time to break out and make my own? How did you make your first song?
My very first song, if my memory is right, the very first song I recorded is Mayor. You know, I recorded that song with Martino Keys. back in, you know, in the studio in a certain corner. Yeah, so that record is also, I say, is also around 20 years old because it's part of the first album. But then, you know, recording back in those times was so amazing because it's not like these days where, you know, we have all the gadgets in our, like we have little studios, we have computers and all of that. Back in the days, it was so engaging and it was so beautiful because you need to be in the studio for, I mean, the entire
session.
The entire session. I mean, sometimes we go the whole, I mean, 24 hours. We're in there. You go in there, you stay in there, you come back home just for a little while, and then you just go back in there to actually go for it. And it was beautiful, you know. And first song, after the first song, I say these were songs. I recorded a couple songs, but then, you know, most producers actually rejected them.
What do you mean, most producers?
Back in the days, we used to have executive producers, people who actually will
financed.
Exactly, they will finance.
They don't have the ear, they have the money.
Yeah, the money, exactly. So they will listen to it and they think, okay, this can break the market. Okay, this can actually, you know, make us some money. All right, okay, let's invest in it. So I recorded, I mean, all these songs, including Aso.
My favorite.
Yes. Including Aso. But Aso's story is quite a bit different. Because before I recorded Aso, I had met Contain in 2003. And he was quite influential and instrumental in the recording of that record. And I quite remember, I used to sing it to a certain melody. So I just told him, hey, I have this track, I want to sing it to you. So he made me play the instrumental in his car. We were driving, and I was singing the song. It was like, it's a beautiful song. We should record this song. I mean, lo and behold, the next day he had phoned Aputis already, and he actually took me to the studio. I mean, we produced the first production of Aso, and I actually didn't like it. I didn't like the production. So I came back home. We were listening to, I was rehearsing to go do the vocals the next day. Then I went to him and I told him, I don't like the production.
High life.
Like I wanted that, you know. He was like, okay, let's just go and tell him we don't like it. We want to play another one. So we went to the studio. And I mean, they were all also, I mean, ready to listen to what I had to say because.
And Apiatus at the time was on fire.
He was on fire. And look at, I mean, that new artist, nobody know you, I mean, and you're saying you don't like the production. But then he was also very welcoming. And he asked me, okay, like, do I have any idea? So I just had to sing the bass line to him.
Why don't you just pick your guitar and play?
No, matter of fact, I will play on, like, I was just playing the melody.
Yeah.
On the guitar, and then I'm singing, and then he would try to produce around, you know, the sketch, my idea.
Yeah.
So I just laid down, I just told him, okay, let's just do that. Let's just play that bass. So he played that bass, and then Apiatus, as good as he is, he took it from there.
And went from there, pum 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 pum.
That was all Apiatus.
I know that. I know that.
That was all Apiatus.
Because that was a call to action.
Exactly. Like after giving him the initial idea, he actually understood where I was coming from. He knew okay, this is where we need to take the song. And I mean, here we are. We did a great record.
How important is a good producer in making a hit record?
Extremely important. Very, very important. I'd say I'll give it to the producer. I'll give 70% or 80% to the producer, because you as the artist might have an initial idea, but he needs to conceive it and understand what you want to do and give you something else to even inspire you to be able to perform the song to a certain level, you know. So I mean, a great producer is very important. It's very, very, it's key. It's key to a hit song. It's key.
Who should listen more to the other, the artist to the producer, or the producer to the artist?
I'll say we need to work hand in hand, because a good producer can understand an artist's initial ideas and can understand an artist's inspiration and can understand what an artist want to feel or want to hear in the production. You know, so it's quite a collaborative work. It's very important to, you know, for both parties to have that kind of rapport, telepathy. It's very important.
What about when the artist has some lyrical content which they feel very passionate about, and the producer says, tone it down, you're getting too emotional?
Yeah, I'd say in some cases, it's good to listen to the producer, because music is not created by one person. I mean, I don't think music, any hit song, was ever created by an individual. You know, there are so many roles, I mean, that has to be played for a hit song. So as an artist or as a recording artist, you must understand the fact that you can't do it all by yourself. There should be other ideas. So yes, if a producer asks you, okay, change that, tone this down. An example is Hammer. When you're working with Hammer. Yeah.
That's what deal.
Yes, and
exactly.
And you know,
he knows what he wants.
He wants, and that's the reason why he records almost everything you do in the studio. So by the time you come back, he's done his own edits. He's taken that out. He's put that in there, and you will love it. As an artist, you actually be like, oh, okay, because I probably couldn't have created that all by myself.
Maybe with Hammer, what I've noticed,
yeah,
you know, because I look at different producers and how they work.
Yeah.
Kwame Yeboah wants to listen to the artist and create around the artist.
Yeah.
Hammer has an idea of how the song should end, even before he puts you on. He wants your contribution, he wants your vibe, but he's already envisioning the end product.
Right.
Whereas some of them are just vibing with you and then building around you.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
Matter of fact, I can say that my experience with Kwame,
yeah, is similar?
It's similar to Hammer's. Because, I don't know, for me, I'll say I'm blessed because every producer I meet kind of like conceives my idea easily and always see where I want to go to, and always they are able to come up with something that I will love or that will inspire me to even create something I had not created even prior to the production. You know, and Kwame Yeboah is that guy. He's a genius. He's a genius.
Only on Master of the Game with the man Kwabena Kwabena, the sex symbol, the great songwriter, the great performer, the fine gentleman who represents Ghana in such a beautiful way, and the contemporary torchbearer for our high life music. When we come back, we're going to be talking about why Kwabena likes to play songs that walk on the very edge of sexuality, songs that bring man and woman together for dignity and beauty and productivity by way of making children, and also how he managed to make a hit with lyrics that were actually swimming against the tide, because at the time the storyline was men were cheating women, but he made a song where a woman had done a man so bad and it became the biggest hit. But before that, let's listen to one of his songs that make you think of what you're going to do to your lover tonight. Chiyomuda is next.
Come on, and I'm in your baby. Baby, you need to do. You go be bedroom bully. Come for some lollipop, baby. Me never grow, bye. Me never grow. We go start with you on top. Champagne, let's pop. Yeah, get super, we don't stop. Yeah, we never, baby, don't stop. to the Madi Pana, man, Macadie, Menova grow by, Menova grow. Mama, me money in the zoo. What better da now? What better chill die? Mama, I'm so in the zoo. What better chill die? The chill die. Die. I have the baby, but let me come back. Yeah, you're so I am not dancing. Baby, say what a child. I am a fine, baby. Men never grow by, men never grow. My second time, my never grow. My mission can't tell. I'm so in the mood, but so in the mood. No, the enemy. Try me for creative cracker. Don't wait and Papa go on a mentality. Oh, bye.
But we cannot speak of publicly. And those things behind closed doors are what gives a lot of people their peace and what eggs them on to work hard for their prosperity. Love is beautiful, but love needs company. To love yourself is fine. To love yourself is better than fine wine. But to love another truly and deeply is everything. Open da why nema wo trust anyu?
Anyway, you know, it had to serve a certain purpose, and I'm so excited that it has. Yes, of course.
Anyway,
that was the whole idea.
Anyway, to sparking me.
Yes, that was the whole idea, because I was thinking about, you see, Sabio, so when you would offer be down in the shadow. And you some more a bit to me. I'm a mood, and I agree.
Let's say, I'm calling me a sexual here.
Aha!
Baby, I want to be a
That's the whole idea. It's which high life music, which music can you relate to in that regard? When it would offer honeymoon, I'm person with you, you know, a mammo, great mood, be number jamu to me the September.
It's really your consolation, where you upliftment.
Exactly.
Upliftment. I got it. Yes. Upliftment.
Exactly. And you know, I mean, in Crawford Papa, because I think Crawford can relate.
But a map and you wasting memo.
That's a mile person. That's the truth.
Are you sure?
A mile person, but it's just that one quite mind, you know. Sebio, on say a man yet. But you know, a man here reserved. But
some person came in who said, should I say it in English or should I speak in Akan, the language of my heart?
Yeah.
Because a dear friend of mine in Bato, in the Volta region, called me the other day when she was watching a repeat of the program. Says, KKD, please, if you're going to speak English, speak English. We all don't speak Chi, and we want to understand everything. But if you're going to speak Chi, then please transcribe on the screen. And so they are together, man and woman.
Right.
And things are going on, man and woman. And the woman is saying, stop what you're doing, stop what you're doing. And the man stops. And the woman says, do what you're stopping, do what you're stopping. And that ain't, you know, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Now, Aso.
Yeah.
Aso has a lyrical content that swims against the tide.
Right.
It's like to the left, to the left. You know, if you listen to that to the left song that was written by Neo and recorded by Beyonce, if those lyrics were about a man throwing a woman's things out,
yeah.
the world would have said that is harsh. But a woman throwing a man's things out, that was acceptable. Right. You wrote Aso at a time when people would say, oh, the men are being unfair to the women, they're cheating on the women. But then you found out that no, the women are doing the same or even worse.
Right.
And you put it in song, and the song became a hit. And even the ladies were singing it.
Yeah.
What inspired it?
You see, like you rightly said, men don't really voice out their pain because it's seen like you're not being a man. Men endure a lot. I realize that men endure a lot because I am a living example. I have gone through things that I can't voice out because when I do, it will be seen as if I am trying to ridicule a woman. But then I have experienced things which is very, very difficult to handle. I mean, at the end of it, I rather became the victim because the moment a woman comes to another man to cry to her, all she needs to do is some few things, and then the man will jump behind her and kill another man. Let me put it that way. Because men are seen to be like, we need to be able to handle things, and it's quite a bit humiliating too.
But we're human too.
We are. It's quite a bit humiliating to actually voice out that, hey, my woman or my wife has done that and that and that, especially when it is, you know, it is sexually related.
Look, diplomacy is knowing how much vinegar to add and how much mayonnaise to add. I know you're putting too much mayonnaise on it. So let me say it one way that an auntie of mine would say.
Right.
It says, a man more bread.
Right.
No, Bema Krawunya, some to send ya, Ubiako Fawa Yeria, Woko catch the wine. It's a Woko cane, your bedi can say, oh, Dabra Okra won't win away in that. There you go. Into your bedding, because you're somewhat Yanka.
And I have, Mr. B was saying, we say, Sebi, Uchu Cassia now car, SAC Kwan, no, Basso dear Bessesi with Udianachia, Ubiaba call Barney, dear no. You who with the same problem. It's quite difficult for men. That was the whole inspiration, and to us. So I realized men, yes, a man, yeah, but then some women were actually doing men dirty. Some men will go all out for women. There are some who actually will put women through school, will put them through learning a trade, you know, help them get every document they need. They get to that level, and now they know the law. And of course, out there, the moment there's an issue, the man has to leave his home. The man who has suffered so many years building that would have to leave it for the woman he brought from zero. You know, and it's acceptable.
It cannot be acceptable.
Yes.
You're both human.
Yes. But then, I mean, I'll say it hit because it was a reality.
People felt
it. People actually could relate to it. And even the women themselves know. So they know. Women know. I have been around women who actually openly say, am I a new?
What?
Am I a new?
Oh, so I mean, I'm just here. Am I a small? Yes, mommy, ready. Am I a new?
Yes. Yes, I have been around some very honest women who actually tell you that be careful about us or be careful around us.
Can we actually listen to the full lyric of Aso? Because I noticed that certain songs you create and then you make a video And certain songs, they sell themselves.
Like
so you never made a video for us, my favorite song.
Yes.
Why?
We never made a video because, I mean, Aso came at a time when I say it was the beginning of my career. Things were tough. It was a record most of the executive producers rejected.
Oh yeah, because they thought people wouldn't accept it.
Yes.
It was against the tide.
It was against the tide.
Let's go into song.
Yes. Ayonku amene ubokosi ya tafere Unibe pita na mama o tabere Mejame dofo ama usemi tukwe nkakara ba Ayonku wani medofui aya kanana Wawa tunto mejapadi ene menyome nina
Ajay
Nina we Mina masenio Me travel for a tunkwa mua moyo nkwafa Yesi mobi nkeka Na me trapo mama na se me tintin Nene majime niso Mena masemni Pimpi musini pimpi Jenje odrabu mi jay Aso Yatunkwanta ya pai.
Hey, so this is the story of many men, not just in Ghana, but all around the world.
Many men, and we can't voice out because, like I said earlier, you are seen as a man, and you must be able to always, take a bitter pill. So, men are going through it. And remember, in Kayasem, I am a living example. I have really gone through it, and I have had destruction of character, especially in this town. I have stories that I have never told, and I don't think I'll ever tell because
the sad truth is whether you tell them or not, people know.
People know,
because whoever does evil to another has the walls and the dark watching them.
I got a desire out of it because people thought that I was going to spill the bean. So,
no, but if somebody, whether they are in power or not, is chasing your spouse, and even after you and your spouse are actually together, and that person still wants to sleep with your spouse, and you find out and you make it public, it's not a desire.
But then,
I know half of the story, but only you know the full story.
For obvious reasons, you actually kind of like would want to keep yourself too, because you wouldn't want to descend into the gutters with them. You would want to. I believe in one thing. I believe that God sees everything, and throughout the years, I've had vindication. I've had people destroy my character a lot in this country. I mean, a whole lot of reportage. I go on the internet sometimes and I ask myself, how did all this happen when I am the victim? But then...
It's because you chose not to speak about it.
Yes, because I chose not to speak about it.
You must speak for yourself.
I will. I'm actually thinking about a memoir.
Which book I am kind Ghana for embarking Ghana for Penconconsa. We can't
Then I actually need to
offering I want to mean car, Merubako delay.
I actually need to tell my story one day.
Yeah, of course.
I actually need to tell my story one day because Nipa say me dimpa. And it was all because of certain women I associated myself with. And
they were not certain women. These are people you love.
Yes, exactly. People I protected.
Nipa sister.
Exactly. And they ran to other men and told them a story, and because Oyo Banti, I would name the Objema Bearmanti.
Now Bearman
Now they do what they have to do. But then in Sri Lanka, we are still
Dachi Bodin.
Dachi Bodin.
Bomidina, Bominsmani.
You know that song? That song, I turned it into a love song.
You did?
Yes.
What first time you know, boy?
My first time you know, but my done no.
Wow.
And I'm there. Ayoba. Mewa mama kuma Jimmy she. Akuma Jimmy she. Oh, did I come? Me say Abra. Yeah, I checked.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Hey, NHS, what's your high life history?
Yep, that's Nanampedu. Yeah.
You know, my first song on stage, I was 4 years old. It was an Nanampedu song.
Right.
Ankuna mawoni alienti, shani amewie, nija dani mi arewo, mobo, betumeni entuo, oba kumobro, ebuenu ama. Oh my
God! Legend.
My dad used to promote him at the time.
Legend.
So that's how I got to really love music.
Legend.
And there's a song that when I see you sing, I melt.
Right.
You know how could you actually say it was ready Anamanani? It's called adult music.
Ooh, that's another one.
What inspired that song? Maybe say DJ by say what inspired that song?
Oh my goodness, adult music. Yes, it's like I was thinking about that song again. Like, you know, I was here born you them. And I mean I'm quite a bit, you know, intentional when it comes to sexuality. I mean, I believe say it's one area as a your society, your katakata sododo. You know, and we must be able to, you know, express ourselves and be able to, you know, own our stuff. So I was thinking, say, yeah, I mean, nyumbe na ubetimi abo. I mean, ubetimi diaya oniama, you know, or nyumbe. I mean, a song to actually, you know, arouse, you know, people. A song to tell people, okay, yeah, this is what it is.
A song to arouse people.
Exactly. Of course. It's sexual healing. There are a whole lot of Western songs which actually is very arousing, and you know, you listen to the lyrics in there, and you're like, wow, they put all this in music. So I was thinking, say, why don't we have a high life song that actually talks about stuff like that? And I mean, as the only artist I could think about Akwai, yes.
But when I was the first to play that song on radio ever.
Oh, amazing!
And later, it was banned on radio because of Moon's But before that, somebody had done Asiko Darling, Eddie Donko.
Oh,
Asiko Darling.
You know, I want to remix that song.
Oh, wow, I say,
yeah.
But if you're quiet, we should say, Echo. Only they now know you know. Now, so you actually sit down to craft a song that will pique people's interest behind closed doors.
Exactly.
But you push them to go and satisfy their own curiosity.
Facts. Facts. Spot on. I try. I try.
The stories we can discuss on here until the day you want to speak about them.
Right.
But knowing them as your big brother,
right.
I just want to thank God for your life.
Amen.
Because in our film, we'll be uncle abodam.
Yeah. Eno crepa.
Be uncle abodam.
Eno crepa.
Me bompa ese nyanko pe mama odophobia ono nso dwen wo ho. Ode ne be chew.
Yes.
If you say, we need a companion.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a companion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you deserve a companion. Now, for the songs you write.
Yeah.
For the way you glorify women.
Yeah.
For the beauty of love that you sing about.
Yeah.
For the shows you do.
Sometimes, you know, Kwasi, I think that maybe the devil attacked me through that channel because of what
the devil attacked you through love.
You see,
through love,
because I love to love, because of how I would want to handle the woman I love and cherish her and put her up there for everybody to see how I adore my woman. So certain bad nuts were thrown to me to discourage me. But then I'm not discouraged. I know that that woman is out there. I know. And my queen is out there, I know. And
my mother, I'll share something. My mother, my beloved Ohima Kwasi Kyei Darwah told me in Chi, but I'll just do the translation in English.
Right.
She says, love your woman. Love her as though you love your children.
Right.
But never place her above you.
Right.
For if you place somebody on a pedestal, what happens is they will look down on you. Place her beside you,
right,
like the rib that she is in you. Obekai.
Bekai pa. Bekai pa. Nyame shano.
Ana shawo nchen. Say won fem panie na ye yi fi wo ho. Exactly. Memfa no nkosrensi wa pampas. Wa wa to honyom. Sir. Wetwa poma e ma na sen wo tenten. Afei ayeden.
Majimeni so. Yes. Yes.
You speak in song and you don't listen to yourself.
Right. Right. Yes, you do. Mrs. Bro.
The last week, Jow shirt. Hey, on shall shirt. I'm on shall shirt. Saying, one our body in your face. Fuka cracker. Who's you, dear?
Miss Jason Kuto. So say, cried yet. I've been a little.
Mama, that's the body.
This was then.
Yes.
This was then. This was like.
Cobra 6 pack. Let me of you.
I'm coming to because I say I eat kakra, but then I'm still working. I need to achieve this back. Yeah, this was like 2 years ago. Yeah. No, this was last year.
This was last year.
Yeah, this last year.
Now, I wish shut down. So when you're going on stage,
say, you know, we're selling something. We're selling, you know, sexuality.
So you embrace the fact that,
of course, I'm a sex symbol.
They say you're a sex symbol. You embrace it.
I embrace it with full chest, and I mean that's what I am. That's what I am. That's the kind of music I do. That's, I mean, what I put out there, and it's great.
There's another song of yours that friends of mine in England really love, just because of Bibiniba. Just those words.
Right. Right.
Child of the African.
Right.
What gave you the title?
Bibiniba. Bibiniba also, you know, we were in an era where people were, you know, not proud of their skin color. And
melanin.
Yes. And let me one kakra, because I can choose to go light skin any day.
Any day, easy.
Yes. But then there's no way you can achieve this very expensive, you know, color. And I didn't understand why we were not proud of our colors. Like, we're not proud of the fact that we are dark, or we are chocolate, or we are you know, we are colored, and we're not appreciating it, and we're not seeing it as something very expensive. So I had to put it in a song.
From a distance,
spotted this pretty lady coming, missing a warfare, matching, I mean, wanna be do. Or ban him seren in a giraffe, or do a double come, baby. She's an African beauty, bibini papa be a yatati no fear. Mean to me, you know, men pie wanna say, you're making you know Betty, and come here for na coffee. Makoyanu, what dear? Makoyanu, what dear?
Together, bibiniba, so order, more don't so. Bibiniba, so order, more don't so. Bibiniba, so order, more don't so. We are me, ma. What were you talking about? Because double entendre. What were you talking about?
I say the maestro is one of my biggest inspiration when it comes to music and writing love songs. As a matter of fact, I grew up listening to him carefully.
The maestro
when I say carefully, because he inspired me a lot.
But don't dodge the topic. I asked Kojoanchi the other day. We say when you play this, you say
of course. So
it was what were you talking about?
You see, an African lady or when minyam no sans chinyam. It's well endowed here, well endowed.
You know, I think just working with the mind of an artist is a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
It's just a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
You know, when you're writing a song, tell me your process.
First I always want to go in a moment of meditation, because I always believe that it comes from above. I always believe, I mean, you know, I need to be inspired with a certain theme and what I want to write about. And I need to also get into the hearts of people who will listen to my creative piece. So I always want an ambience where I'll get into that trance and be able to write from that spirit.
Sit in the garden, lie in the bed, go for a walk?
Mostly.
What time of day?
Mostly I like dawn. I like the dawn, and I also want to walk paths which is silent. Like, you know, so mostly I write when I travel, or I write when I'm in a serene environment where nipa knows.
So you can't write at Alobroshi?
No. That's impossible. And you know, there will be a whole lot going on, and that will be a distraction. I have to be in a meditative mood, and you know, I need to be in a space where I can be able to cast my net wider.
A space of serenity.
Yes, serenity. Yeah, it has to be serene.
And then when you write your song, some people want to do a melody and then write a lyric to fit the melody. Some just write their poetry.
Right.
And then after their poetry, they go and look for the rhythm.
Right.
And then they bring the melody.
Right.
Do you have a particular way you go about each song, or when you're doing ballads, it's different from when you're doing bangers?
Facts. It's quite diverse. Each song has its own way of creating itself. I'll put it. When writing ballads are more like, you know, soul searching, and you need to I mostly put the lyrics that I actually piece out the story, or I piece out what I really want to talk about before I think about, you know, melody. So it's very important to work with producers who are very creative, who are very good with, you know, the instruments and all of that. That's why with ballads I either choose Kwame Kyei or I'll choose Martino keys, because they actually understand, you know, melodies, and you know, they are very good on especially the keyboard. Yeah. And
Hammer said something that's very interesting. I've heard it from other producers, but I think he said it in a very apt way. He talked about how, you know, some people play from their head and some people play from their feeling. That's the heart.
Yeah.
The ballad is more from the heart.
From the heart, yes. It's more from the heart. It's more from the soul. Like, it needs to come from within, and it needs to like feel real.
Give me an example of a ballad which is not from our culture, maybe from another culture,
right,
so we can look at it and compare it with one in our culture. Any ballad
right.
from elsewhere?
A song like Adele's Hello.
Why did you say Adele's Hello? That's the song playing in my head. That's the song playing in my head.
Yeah, it's like, that song is magical. You could feel it. If you play it, you could actually feel the dialogue. And that's how, I mean, ballads supposed to be.
But you know, interestingly, you did something. Kojoanchi played Daddy Anoma, you played at Daddy Anoma. Before Adele played Hello,
right,
Lionel Richie had also played Hello.
Yes.
Is it me you're looking for? You know, so exactly. That's another very powerful
powerful ballad. Very powerful ballad.
And then give me some ballads in Africa that you feel very strongly about.
I say Kojoanchi.
Yeah, I want a song. You give me a whole institution.
A song like Kakai. Oh, Sana Himse Senechia Chia Samayo Bonibia.
Look, you and Kojo should go and re-record the song.
I'm telling you.
I think it will be beautiful.
I mean,
have you spoken to him about recording with him?
I have.
So what are you waiting for?
I have. I'm only waiting for his green light.
We cannot wait for tomorrow every day.
Yes.
Yesterday is gone.
Yes.
Tomorrow may never come.
Exactly.
Today is all we have.
Exactly.
It's
got some on and this one, Adia Pena.
That song.
My friend, my travel is 1,000 times. And so I never can say to go out of coverage area. Oh my God.
Oh, Kovna, you can sing. Kovna, you can sing. But Kojo loves you very much.
I love him too. I love him to bits. Like he's that guy. He's that guy. He's so special to my heart. He's that guy.
When you were young, did Daddy ever play this song on his stereo at home? And then you know to say
Sawakoto, Nakanyin say every. I can want Feliz Inqua, Anka etio, and to acquire Mudo. Nana Nicasa, Sawakoto, to say, Shunyu. Obi Nania, Novakoto, to say,
Nena guarantee, so never find la.
Suban Papa, Chinyan, you so born. Ompen Kroba, Sawakoto, Buneu.
Oh,
I
had to bring this song up because my father, being somebody who promoted Onyantupoyin and Anakwam Yampidu for many years, made me understand that I can learn everything about other cultures, but I must always pride myself on my own. And when I see our musicians today busily playing other genres of music, I say, go ahead, good, because we need to have import substitution. But every Ghanaian musician, in addition to the import substitution, must pick one or two genres of our own and polish it and make it his own. You have chosen High Life. What next after High Life?
You know, I actually have some, you know, some songs you can call Afrobeats, some songs you can call pop, some songs you can call R&B. Yeah, but then I always make sure that it has that element of high life or that kind of identity in there. So although you'll be listening to it maybe sounding like Afrobeat or sounding like pop music, you still will have the feel of high life in it. I always
Why?
feel that's my identity. I can never be someone else. I can always be me. And I mean, that's what's embedded in me. High life music is my music. That's what I can embrace fully, and that's what I can confidently do anywhere in the world, and I will stand out and be unique.
Were you proud or were you a little disappointed when at a certain point in music history, the most popular high life song was by Paul Simon, Diamonds on the Soles of a Shoe?
It was a sad moment though for us, I mean Africans or black people, to sit down for a white man to see the beauty in our culture and actually project it for us.
When we were not
projecting it. So I would say it was a sad moment, but then again too, it was a great moment, because if Sebi when Hunyansa crowd will say, the greatness in your music, so you can throw it away. I would say it was one of my biggest inspirational points. You know, and you know, ever since, and especially an artist too like Richard Bona. Richard Bona did a whole album calling it Ghana Blues. whole album. And if you listen to the melody and how he created it, you could Oti Amponsa all through his music, Oti Odonson all through his music, Oti Kwao all through his music. And I ask myself, why have we thrown ourselves away like that? And we're seeing other culture or other genres as like something we want to embrace because of, you know, so-called numbers. Because, you know, people just want to do music and feed themselves. It's not passion anymore.
There's this line of Marcus Garvey that I used to use on radio some 35 years ago and before. And it went something like this. If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life.
Right.
With confidence, you have won even before you started. Marcus Garvey.
Yes, Marcus Garvey.
Do you think our people lack confidence in who we are?
We do lack a lot of confidence. We lack confidence in who we are. Being some, you see, I'd say, I don't know where to attribute this behavior. You know, growing up, there were certain utensils or there were certain plates or cutlery or
reserved for the foreigner,
reserved for the foreigner
or the visitor,
and that's where the mentality shift started from. It made us believe that the foreigner is special, so everything the foreigner brings is supposed to be special. We were growing up and yes, Bruni wewu. So we weren't patronizing our tailors and our dressmakers here. I don't do that. I patronize our people. Because I believe that the craftsman here has something which I appreciate, and so I need to be proud to put on myself.
Fantastic.
You know, so it's all like our mentality and how we want to project ourselves out there. So like you rightly said, it's the confidence in what we want to look like and how we want to project ourselves. We see something that comes from somewhere as, oh yes, that is it, that is that one. But in anything which with the inscription made in Ghana, so way free Italy nearby, way free China, way free US nearby. But then we don't look at, I mean, the quality or how we have to look at, an apparel like Kente.
It's unique.
So unique.
It's the world's most resplendent cloth, no argument.
There you go.
KKD says so.
Exactly. Yesterday, how many of our leaders were proudly dressed in our apparel? Just a handful. There were people in suits trying to look like the white man. And that's unfortunate.
But you see, they say once the creator brings the art out, it no longer belongs to the creator, it belongs to the world. So anything that is good that has already been made is for the whole world.
Exactly.
And everybody can use the product.
Exactly.
So Carl Benz has made the Mercedes engine. Right. Now we all, Gottlieb Daimler, we all can use cars.
Right.
We cannot say strictly for the white man. Right. So for everything it should be the same.
Right.
However, we must consciously look out for our own and project it.
Exactly. That's where the problem is. We don't consciously project ours. We are not confident in ours. Yes, you can use. Of course, I mean, there are times where I would love to wear a suit, but then the percentage should differ. My apparel or how I put myself out there should be able to project where I come from or who I am. I believe that's very important. That's very, very important. And with that, Nigerians do very well. And I must commend the president. I mean, his apparel.
Bola Tinubu.
Yes, and our president, His Excellency
President John
Mahama. Yes.
Oh, his apparel.
His apparel.
I'm a designer. No, copy in maybe 15 years ago.
Yes,
but
fantastic.
Very good job.
Fantastic. I loved what he wore yesterday.
Beautiful.
He looked so beautiful and projected Ghana so much. And I mean, I'm so proud of him about that.
Beautiful
I'm
work.
so proud of him.
In fact, we had a professor
Yeah.
who knows all there is to know about the Idinkra symbols come into the studio this morning on
Right.
Ghana Mai in Koswo
Right.
to speak about that apparel and explain everything in that
about
apparel.
it. And
so Ghanaians will understand.
that's right.
Beautiful.
That's right.
And,
with that, I am proud.
we must show love
I'm so
to our
proud.
designers.
Yeah, I'm
We
so
must show
proud.
love. And I must say, the First Lady and the Vice President were also so
Beautifully
in the
dressed,
apparel.
exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly. And I think, is it Julius Debra?
Julius wore his
Yes,
kente.
he wore his kente. It was
Beautiful.
so beautiful.
Beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
And I think Okujeto Black wore his kente
exactly.
as well.
He was
Yes.
also very nicely dressed. I mean, projecting his you know, his culture. I mean, the Volta culture. I mean, I believe on such occasions, you see, we can wear
On
anything.
such occasions, we must
Yes,
reserve it for projecting our culture.
For projecting our culture, because that's when every eyeball is on us and everybody is watching us, and so that's the best time to actually sell our culture and to tell the whole world who we are.
Kwabra no krani said, "Nipa ni pi ni mu ntumi fra." So maybe I should give a class on how to wear cloth. Right. It's the same with suits. I mean, the simple thing about wearing a suit is sometimes always never for a 3-button suit. For a 2-button suit, it's always never. So the last button you never close. But some people don't know. Some people buy a suit jacket and then the label is still on the sleeve.
Exactly.
And then they go out with it. So maybe we should teach children from the age of 6 how to wear cloth.
Very important.
How to wear cover and slit.
In school.
So they grow up knowing these things. Will you be happy to go and teach?
I mean, I'll be excited. Given the opportunity, I'll be excited. Because we must be able to be proud of our culture and who we are as a people. I mean, that's the basic.
3 important questions to ask you. But before that, you have to react to the content in this video.
Right.
We want to hear what you have to say right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight and simple. In 2025, your peace is priceless. The world we're walking into, it's noisy, chaotic, full of people trying to pull you into their drama, their negativity, their small thinking. But you have a choice, a powerful choice. Don't waste your energy on reactions. Don't waste your breath on explanations. Sometimes the strongest move is the quietest one, cutting them off silently and moving forward with grace and purpose. Let's break this down into 6 key moves. In a world filled with distractions, negativity, and external pressures, the greatest asset you have is your peace. And let me tell you, your peace isn't something you can afford to give away lightly. You can't control what other people do, what they say, or how they try to pull you into their chaos, but you can control how much of yourself you give to those situations.
That's right.
Kwabna, you heard that.
Yes.
Protecting your peace, is that a priority?
A big priority. A big priority. I mean, I'm a living proof of that. I mean, there were times when people were even judging my sexuality from how I dress.
So every woman who wears a trouser is a man?
And that was very dumb for me. That was very, very dumb. Like,
so every Scottish who wears a kilt is a woman?
It's a woman. And we were talking about sexuality. How do you know about somebody's sexual preference by just watching or looking at how the person is dressed? That's very, very that's not so wise. That's not so wise. So yeah, I mean, I protect my inner peace. It's about, I don't really think about what you are thinking. Or
and
what
when something bothers you too much, what do? Convert it into song?
Yes, of course. And I mean, I just confine into my space and I find something beautiful. That is the day I treat myself to a wonderful treat. I eat the best meal. I try to dress very, very well, and I find a very expensive perfume to put on myself so that I feel good.
Like, are we going to see one of Kwabna's videos? Hey, now perfume, that's how I always say, well, somebody told me that, oh, Kwabna smells so good, his sweat is like perfume. So what do you mean you go and wear expensive perfume? We're going to watch one of his videos, and we come back, I'll ask him a few questions before we go out. Let's go.
Sexy lady, rock, rock my body, with the baby, so come my lady. Sexy lady, rock, rock my body, with the I did not saw baby. Today to the moon and I go. I guess I'll baby. Yeah, to the moon and I go. Talk about this. Miss my mom and papa, the baby. Me mama, me talk about this. Miss my mom and papa, the baby. Yeah, and I remember. Show me new baby, mommy real deal. Nama todo baby, so come my body, sexy lady, rock, rock my body, with the baby, so come my lady, sexy lady, rock, rock my body, with the I did not saw baby, today to the moon and I go. I guess I'll baby.
Master of the game with my special guest, Kwabena, beautiful songwriter, beautiful music maker, stylish gentleman, and African sex symbol. In fact, world sex symbol. Go and bring your sex symbols from every part of the world, and I will show you our Kwabena. And I'll tell you, he will be number one. Kwabena,
Yes,
how
sir.
do you get your titles for your songs? And you been crying your friend Tokro Abojis. How do you get your titles for your songs?
Yes. I mean, you know, like I said earlier on, I mean, the songs need to be able to, you know, help prepare the process and make the process easier, especially when you have, I mean, that beautiful person around you, that person you want to share your intimacy with. So, I mean, everything has to be exciting. You know, from the time I water flowers, from the time I water chocolate kakra, from the time I monum champagne kakra, and then you get the right song to also push the process.
So for you, this whole physicality in a relationship is necessary.
Very necessary. Very, very necessary. Derby. We need things. We need songs. We need mood. You know, we need to create the ambience.
And then we need touch.
Exactly. And we here. They're very important.
What is Saminian so yeah back?
That's adult music.
I know the money TV song.
Yeah, Papa. Yeah, Papa. Of course, yeah, Papa. See, the can say adult music. Into my friend, higher more.
33 years ago, a gentleman you love very much, the maestro Kojo Entry, and I sat together and conceived something which has lived and still continues.
Right.
Once a year, he has his own festival. We started calling it the Kojo Entry Experience. Now it's called Get Kojo Entrified. Which I said, in fact, next year it's all both shows.
Yeah. I think I was on the show 2 years ago.
But next year it's also.
No, I mean, so honored. I will be. Yes.
But you've also started your own, and you chose Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Why did you choose Valentine's Day for yours?
You know, for the kind of songs I do, I'll say Valentine happened to be the best moment to actually bring loved ones under one roof and, you know, play music to serenade them, play music to celebrate the love they share, I mean, among each other, and also play music to reassure everybody that love is the ultimate. It's always good to have somebody you love by your side and somebody you want to share that kind of, you know, your intimacy or that space with. So I chose Valentine to be able to showcase the music and, you know, to give people who are in love hope that love is always beautiful.
For all those sharing so much love directly to my phone, please go to Facebook, MyCTVGH. That's Facebook, MyCTVGH, MyCTVGH, and share your love there. You're telling me your favorite Kwabena song, you're telling me what you love about him, but please share it so the whole world can see That is how we uplift and encourage our artists. So go to MyCTVGH and put your comment there. We are also streaming live on YouTube at MyCTVGH. That's YouTube, MyCTVGH, Facebook, MyCTVGH, and we are piping live and hot on Class 91.3 FM. So, Kwabena, what are we going to do for Valentine this year? Are we just going to buy drinks for the ladies, rings for the ladies, cars for the ladies? What are we going to do this year?
It's going to be an amazing night of music at the Grand Arena.
Grand Arena?
Yes, at the Grand Arena.
We're filling the Grand Arena.
The Grand Arena, like, you know, last year we actually did it. Last year I collaborated with my sister Becca on it, you know. But this year, being my 20th year in the industry,
not just in the industry, 20th year of my favorite song.
Your favorite song. You know, it's going to be. I'm going to headline the show, and of course, I'm going to have the likes of Kiddy.
Whoa. Lomo.
Yes.
Kim Promise, 5-star.
5-star. I'm going to have my sister Afia join me on stage. And then, of course, I'm going to be having, you know, somebody from the gospel fraternity who's a sister dear to my heart, or Papa Chrissy.
Fantastic.
Exactly. So, with these 4 great artists on that stage on the 14th of February, it's just going to be amazing. It's just going to be amazing.
And who's going to MC the show?
Huh. Should I tell the whole world that I'm honored to announce that the MC for the night is KKD, the finest. We're gonna have a blast on that night. I'm telling you, God bless you. I'm so excited you actually being the one to actually do this, because, you know, this is my 20th anniversary in the industry. And though we're going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary concert later on in the year, this Valentine is like the opener to it. And this is going to be like, since we started doing this Valentine show, I started in 2014. You know, did it for 2 years, and then I went for a little break, like 3-year break, and then we came back in 2018, and then ever since we've been doing up until now. And I mean, I'm so excited about it. I just can't wait for Valentine's Day.
So this Valentine weekend is going to be crazy. KKD is going to be hosting this big love concert headed by Kwabena.
Yes.
All you got to do is bring somebody you love, or somebody who loves you, or somebody you want to love, or somebody who you want to love you, or come and find your love. I am going to be emceeing, and you know, or come with just a little touch of red or a little touch of pink in whatever you show up with. Kwabena,
yes, sir.
Your last word to me.
What I'm going to say to you right now is, bruh, God bless you so much, because 20 years ago, I released a song as a young artist, and the likes of you, especially you, and everything you did for that song for it to be a hit, every party you've hosted, every wedding you've hosted, you actually made sure the song was played out there. God bless you, brother.
And I want to thank all the other DJs who supported too, because Giles Bossman, Fifi Pratt, Van Dyke, DJ Van Dyke in London, Osofo Mafia in London, every one of them. If I said play, they played it. I mean, Alodia as well.
Yes.
West Coast Entertainment.
I mean, this song has become like it's like the second Ghanaian national anthem in London, and
also all the team at Rainbow Radio in the UK, because they were very supportive, especially Dr. Mac.
You know, matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing this 20th anniversary concert, a London version. I should, because I saw, I'll say, people in London actually made Aso a great song. And I mean, up until today, when they come for the Dirty December, when Aso drops at every party, is just a scene.
I'm going to thank you, Kwabena, for being with us. By God's grace and your own hard work, you have shaped your own destiny. God bless you. And God bless you, viewers. They say it's lonely at the top, but yes, it is so for those who do not respect humanity. If you really respect people, you will always have good people in good company. See you at the top. the bottom is too crowded. Thank you. See you on the next episode.